Hey guys, I'm going to show another version of the slip braid technique for putting up your hair into an up style. I curled this lady's hair using Beyond Body and a flat iron. That's Aquage's Beyond Body. So I'm going to give her a side part and then separate her into side, and back. So two sides and a back. And you don't have to worry about clean partings. Everything kind of melts into itself, so you won't see any partings. I'm going to use my detailing cream from Aquage. I put a little bit and emulsify it in my hands. Lightly run it over the ends just to ensure that there isn't any frizz. And then again, I'm going to take a section and begin to braid the section at the root. I'm not going to bring the separation of the three pieces all the way down, so I'm just going to continue to braid, keeping the ends from they'll be raveling into themselves into a braid. And then I'm going to pull the braid through the hole, take a small piece, and tautly press the hair up towards the scalp. I'm going to use a bobby pin with the technique like a needle and kind of needle and thread it up into the scalp. Not to hurt them, obviously, but this girl doesn't complain, thankfully. And I'm sorry that her creepy sister is staring at you on the chair. Didn't notice that. So again, I'm going to start braiding at the root, not letting it ravel onto the ends. So we just want to make sure that the ends reverse braid themselves. And then braid until you can no longer braid, and bring the ends into the loop of the middle. Take a tiny piece of hair and slip the braid up towards the scalp. And then again, take a bobby pin like a thread and needle and just thread that bobby pin through the hair to secure it. I'm going to bring hers mostly all back just so you can see what it does for the texture of it. The last one I did, my blonde mannequin, we did in a faux hawk. So this one's going to be more of like an elegant commercial look that you can use every day in the salon. Obviously, it'd be great to have clients come in with her hair color, but it doesn't happen as often as I would like. This, I'm just pulling apart the braid a little bit to give it more fullness so that when you do slip it up, it gives it a little bit more volume. So this would be great for somebody who has fine hair. It gives them the illusion that they have really thick hair. I do this a lot with braids, 3-strand or fishtail braids. After you braid them, you just kind of lightly pull apart each side, and it gives the braid so much more volume. So again, I'm just braiding the hair up at the root, not letting the braid break through to the ends, pulling the ends through the loop in the middle. And now I'm just pulling out each side of the braid just to give it a little bit more volume. And then I'm going to take that little piece, hold it taut, and slide the braid up towards the scalp. It gives it such an intricate look, but it is so easy. Again, you don't really need to make sure that your sections are perfect. And then I'm just braiding her hair again at the root, making sure the ends don't separate. Pulling the ends through the loop. pulling the braid out just to give it a little bit more volume. And then sliding that braid up towards the scalp. It almost looks like little rosettes. Just pulling the braid out again for a little bit of volume. She doesn't have as much hair as most mannequins, so it's good when you have a client who has fine hair to have some techniques to make it look like they have a lot of hair. I'm very fine haired, and I wish I had known what I could have done to my hair for prom in high school because it never came out the way I wanted. I'm just going to tuck away those ends as they appear. And I'm just kind of bringing everything back, but you can envision if you had done it all to one side, it would be a beautiful side bun, you know, which is one of the most commercial looks that everybody asks for now. Those days of tight, pulled back hair are coming to an end. They may come back, but this is one of the easiest ways I've found to put hair up quickly, especially when you have a bridal party of, 7, 8, maybe even 10 girls. You can get them done. If you have somebody there to help you curl, you can get somebody's hair put up in less than 20 minutes. If anyone has not seen Aquage in their educational videos, especially the Muse collection is one of the best collections I've ever seen because they show you how to put up hair in a elegant style in less than 20 minutes, which time is money, so the faster you can get that hair up, the better. And most importantly, as a hairdresser, you got to kind of step away from the head and look at it from all angles because we're so focused on one piece when we're looking at it. Just take a step back, make sure that the shape is working. It's better to look at the shape as you're doing it versus trying to run after them walking out the door when you see something out of place. We all have to remember that when you have a bride or a prom girl, nobody's looking at their hair as closely as us. They're usually getting them from further away, so just take a step back and make sure that the shape looks great on the person's, face, body, head. Just those things are very, very, very important when coming and doing upstyling work. So again, you can just see I'm pulling the braid apart. Finding that little piece of hair and slipping the braid up towards the scalp. And it gives a little bit of volume at the root, which looks so pretty, and it looks loose and it's not tight. And it gives people that random texture that they really like when they bring in these photos from the dreaded Pinterest. But again, you can just see that I'm using the same exact technique over and over again to create this style. So as long as you can get that technique down, the styles you can create are endless. You could leave pieces out in the front, you could leave pieces hanging, draping around the ear. You can bring it all to the side. You can bring it all to the top. A lot of the time, I'll even take pieces and basket weave it through some of the braids, and it just looks so pretty. And it's easy. It's foolproof. You don't have to, there's not a huge hard technique behind it. It is simple, simple, simple. You could even do it on straight hair, and it does give the illusion that you curled an entire head. So if you're pressed for time, you can totally get this done in 15, 20 minutes maximum, instead of spending the 60 minutes, sometimes even 90 minutes doing an updo. So again, just distressing that braid a little bit before I slide it up into where I'm going to pin it. So now I'm working off of that part that I gave her in the beginning, just to make sure that she does have a side part, just to have it a little looser around her face and not all slicked back. And you can get totally different looks if you do bigger sections, smaller sections. The possibilities are endless. Her color we actually did for Pride Week in Somerville, Massachusetts. We left her in our window during Pride Week. I wish I had somebody daring enough to rock that color in real life. I'm going to slide that up and just look how pretty that texture looks. And it's so easy. I'm just using some Aquage finishing spray to make sure it smooths The hairline, where obviously is going to be the first place to frizz on a client. I think in total this entire video without fast forwarding is about 15 minutes. And I have no tricks up my sleeve, just the one technique repeated over and over again. I love doing updos, and I know that is not the case with many hairdressers, so I just think this is a great technique to give yourself more options behind the chair. The more you can do, the more people you can service, the more profit you can bring in. Could have even just left the braid, and draped it over the back. That'd be such a pretty look. There's so many things that you can add to make this technique your own and to make it a little different on everybody. I just tucked it behind one of the other ones there just to blend it so you can't really tell what's happening. It's just all melted together, and it makes the color look really, really cool. So this, I think, was my final piece. And again, same technique, braid, pull it through, distress the braid, and then pull it back up. And depending on where you place this placement on top, you can get as much or as little volume as you want. The style is secure, so you can distress it to give it the shape that you want at the end. So I'm just grabbing Aquage finishing spray and pulling out some pieces to see a little bit more volume on this side, and smoothing any flyaways just to make sure that the front is clean. So here is the finished style. I hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I challenge you to use this technique and make it your own, and please, when you do, tag me in any photos. My name is Christine Andrade McSheehy, or you can hashtag me at Hair by Christine & Co. Thanks, guys.